Hey, HR friends, welcome back. So we finally made it to day three. We're in the 3-1 emotional 6.5 day sequence. This is the entire 6.5 day sequence. Day three is in the white rectangle. Now you can see things have really been elevated. And the last five posts before and after the solstice, we specifically warned everybody that weather events were going to go up and that social dysfunction like shootings and world tensions were all going to go up. And unfortunately, that's all been happening. Why? These polarity points, what they're doing is they're unseen agitations. We are designed with a defensive system of control. And when these unseen agitations elevate and stay elevated, they keep us in a defensive mode. So we either run away from our problems or we decide to be aggressive and fight. And that's what's been doing this. And we've been doing confirmation videos on mass shootings. We've been doing confirmation videos on weather events. This is what's causing that. We are out of balance right now. And the first thing that we need to do to get back in balance is to make sure that we're broadcasting when these electromagnetics peak and they form and they hold steady. People need to be aware of this because if they're not, what's happening is from the inside out, they're being agitated. And that's what's creating all of this conflict. Now, here's the good news. Day three, you can see it. Look, it's starting to come back down and it's going to get back to a level where we're at a four or below. Okay. And you can see the same thing here. Third person agitation. These polarity moments are coming down. First person is coming down. We need this. Now, before I move on to the objective section here, I want you to be aware, even though day three is going to be less, I promise you, we're all fatigued from this. It is tiresome to see all of these negative stories on the news and all of these tragedies and to experience all of these polarity points. We all have to go through this, okay? It's not like any of us can avoid this. So, this is a time where we really need to just stay focused here. We're almost to the end. It's like we're at the end of the race, and now this is when we have to focus and get across the finish line here. At the end of this 24 hours, it is definitely going to simmer down. Now, when we have all this tension going on, of course, there's still going to be some residuals. So you really got to do your best to just let it go. Let the past go. And we got to have a better, more positive focus coming forward here in the future. Now, I'm not going to spend a lot of time on objective. If you've been watching these broadcasts or these forecasts here, you already know what you have to do. You literally have to treat everyone as if they're their family members, brothers, sisters, mothers, fathers. You have to disclose how you feel, what you're up to, what your routines are, and what you're trying to accomplish. Okay. And if what you're trying to accomplish isn't balancing these four third person perspectives, well, then you're out of balance. And before someone says, well, that doesn't matter, I'll tell you why we're having so much trouble right now. Okay. If you look around, if you're brave enough to watch the news and you're brave enough to see the weather events and all of this social tragedy and all of these catastrophes that are happening, it's because we are out of balance with our world and national perspectives. We have overinvested in our individual and family perspectives, and we need to diversify. If your routine as an individual or a family is not equally divided between how you contribute to all four of these levels, then you're out of balance. And unfortunately, when these frequencies that test the quadrants of our body come, you are taking damage, you are accelerating your aging, and you are guaranteeing that you're going to have future states of unpleasant disease. That's how this works. I'm sorry it's that way, but that's exactly how this works. We're hoping you understand this clearly so that we can start to make this better both for the individual and for our shared reality. All right, so now we're going to talk about the 24-hour segment here, okay? So that's what this is. This is the zoomed in 24-hour, and it's pretty obvious. Now, when this first 12 hours of the 24 starts, we're going to have a pretty good peak here. We're going to have a peak at third person and a peak at first person. And if you've been watching these confirmation videos, these dual peaks and these high peaks right here, the majority of the shootings in at least the United States have happened during these high peaks. Now, there have been some other places where they've hit at lower peaks, but this entire sequence again, this 24 hours, we say four is the number that we care about because that's when we start to notice it. We're at a four this entire time. Just a little bit it comes down here and a little bit down in the second 12 hours. Okay. Now, as always, if you don't have internet, There's the -4 offset. I would take a picture right now. This is the Eastern time zone, and it would be aligning these times right here with where the peaks are. So if you don't have internet, this is how you do it. If you do have internet or you have cell coverage with internet, you navigate to healthreconnected.com, you use our live feed, and it shows a status bar and shows exactly where we are on this. It is so easy, it is so simple. I literally can show this to people now and in less than 2 minutes explain, hey, this is polarity. We don't see it, but it agitates us. And the more people that know this, the less conflict we're going to have when we go out in society or when we deal with each other. That's the first step we're trying to do to help you here immediately because it's obvious. Things are not slowing down, things are getting worse. And the good news is this, it's going to cycle down again, right? I told you this is the cyclical pattern of destruction. This is the unseen pattern of chaos. And chaos is going to let off the gas here for a little bit, and we're going to go, oh, it's better now. And then it's coming again. I promise you. It is going to come again, and we are going to be better prepared when it comes this next time. All right, let's shift gears here. Let's talk about the alignments. We have a busy day of alignments, okay? So this 24-hour segment, it doesn't really get started until the second 12 hours. You can see this long alignment right here. We're going to start with that. That's this 5-hour time alignment. It's an EE alignment. This is going to test. And remember, yellows are the toughest, and so are greens. These demand that in our routines that we're doing something at the national and world level. So if you're an individual that's overinvested in individual and family and you don't have national and world strategy in your overall plan, then it's very likely you're going to feel this. And where you're going to feel it is the right upper quadrant. Okay. If you have any issues, if you have any pains, document the time, document the area, come to our site. We have a vlog now. I've got 5 logs done. You are going to be amazed to see what our technology can do and how it can pinpoint what problems are and exactly what you need to do. Make sure you check out our vlog. It's on our homepage. You can see the tab up there. It says vlog. Go check it out. That's important. That's going to help you if you have a hit. And I promise you, we all have problems right now. When you look around the world, there's no way any of us can deny that. No way. All right. The next one we're going to talk about here is the EE in the space side. This is an hour and a half alignment. This is going to affect the lower right quadrant. Now, I don't expect this isn't a terribly strong one, but it is definitely possible. And as always, just make sure you document. Now, I'm going to say this if it's a new user here watching. These alignments are low-hanging fruit. These are when frequencies amplify and it's easy to point out what you're going to feel and when you're going to feel it. If we're out of balance, these alignments are testing us and they're just more powerful. That's why we point out these alignments. That's why we list them. And we also show you what parts of the body are going to be tested. So you can see that we only have one alignment that's going to affect the upper extremities. The rest of these are all coming down to lower extremity. Okay, let's keep moving here. Now we're going to go up to this MP, okay? That's this guy right here. This is a strong alignment. This is a 6-hour alignment. This is going to affect left lower quadrant. This one is very likely for people to feel. Ain't no doubt about it. It's the strongest, longest alignment on the chart for this 24-hour period. Okay, let's keep moving here. Now we're going to do the ME. That's this guy right here. So this is also a strong alignment. Remember this M frequency, that's a year frequency. This E is only a 3.5-hour frequency. So here, even though there's some red here, I would still expect to feel this on the left. Now, we've got this long one that's doing left, and then this short one's going to start to do left. So very, very likely, especially when this and this one double up, that's going to be a hit. If it is, definitely document the time. We want to know, we want to help you, okay? All right, so last one we're going to talk about is down here. This is the PE, all right? And we got to find it. It's right here. Once again, the P is a 12-hour frequency. The E is a 3.5-hour frequency. Much more likely you're going to feel this one on the left. Now we've got 3 alignments, all testing the left. And when the time bar starts to go through this hour and a half segment and this hour and a half segment and this 6-hour segment all at the same time, expect to feel something if you're out of balance. And remember, we're designed to be out of balance. Don't write this off like, oh, I did this or this is what it is. No, it's not. It's frequency. This frequency is perfectly balanced and it's looking to see if we're balanced. If we're imbalanced, it's going to interact with us in a way that causes destructive interference. That's what accelerates aging, and that's what makes things around us unpleasant. We don't want that. That's why we're trying to help you understand what this is so we can empower you to make better choices, diversify your routines. The more diverse your routine is, And the more you invest equally, the more your body will be balanced and be able to stay healthy. All right. Last thing we're going to talk about here is macro position. All right. So we already saw up here that most of the testing structure is happening in the lower quadrants. And look at this. Let's just count them up. Lower quadrants first. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So 7 out of the 10 strongest frequencies are going to be parked in the lower quadrants for this next 24-hour segment. If I was still in practice, this is where I'd expect people to see the majority of what's going on. Now, in addition to that, we have this long alignment, 5-hour alignment, and you see we have two macros parked in the upper right extremity or upper right quadrant. So what that means is during this time, it is very likely, and you can see down here, that upper right quadrant is actually being tested a little bit stronger in the first 12 hours before it drops off. So the first 12 hours, expect upper right quadrant. In both the first and second 12-hour section, expect stuff going on in the lower quadrant. All right. That's a pretty good place to end the predictions here. We're just going to roll down and remind everybody, if you're new, we've got the entire summer season electromagnetic guide posted, and we have the entire fall season electromagnetic guide posted. I know people are going to be waking up to this, what we're sharing with them, and maybe they have plans. And because social tensions are rising, because it's getting to kind of be dangerous to get together in big groups of people, we want you to at least be aware of when these points are coming so you can make good decisions for yourself and for your loved ones. Okay? Now, this was the featured confirmation video from the previous 24 hours, the mass shooting in Arkansas. This one makes me sad. Okay? This thing happens, you can see it, happens right on that peak, right here. Watch this video, it is sobering. All right, that's enough for today. We'll see you next post.